Hi friends, welcome back to English Classes Online. I am Benjamin. Today's video is on how to score high in your Jamb use of English with spotlight on 2021 Jamb English syllabus. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Let's dive into the lesson right away because we really have a lot to cover in this video. The highlights are as follows. Number 1, preparation. 2, 3 essential tools for preparation, which consists of the following. A Jamb 2021 syllabus. B, a correct Jamb subject combination. C, Jamb question. Jamb past questions. Then number 3, studying for the exam. Number 4, an overview of the Jamb 2021 English language syllabus. These are the key areas we are going to cover in this video. Let's start with the first one, which is preparation. And here we are saying that preparation equals getting ready. To prepare is to make yourself ready for something that you'll be doing or something that you expect to happen. To score high in the Jamb exam, you need to prepare by learning the essential areas and mastering them through study and practice. You need to get adequately prepared for the exam. The reason for failure, candidates' failure in Jamb exams and of course in other exams is simply lack of preparation or inadequate preparation. Now, those who perform exceedingly well in these exams are those who are adequately prepared for the exam, and they go into the exam fully prepared, knowing what to expect, knowing how to answer the questions. So this video is devoted to helping you get adequately prepared, get fully ready for this upcoming Jamb exam. Number 2, 3 essential tools for your preparation. And the first one, which is A, is a Jamb 2021 syllabus. One tool that shows you the essential areas for your preparation is the Jamb syllabus. The syllabus contains the topics from which questions will be set in the UTME, that is Jamb examination. Now, Jamb is the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, that is the examining body. The exam itself is called the Unified Tertiary and Matriculation Examination. It is the exam that will help you to be qualified for gaining entrance into a university or a tertiary institution in the country. So you need the Jamb syllabus because the syllabus contains the topics from which questions will be set in the UTME or Jamb exam. This is why Jamb usually releases a syllabus via her website prior to each examination. You know, whenever you are registering for the Jamb exam, you will also have to get the Jamb syllabus, and the aim is to help you to prepare by showing you the topics from which Jamb will set the questions. Unfortunately, most Jamb candidates hardly look into the syllabus, much less using it as a guide for their preparation. They always rely on what people, the topics they have been taught in various classes they have attended. But I'm saying that beyond that, you should personally know the various topics in the syllabus so that you will verify whether you have actually covered all the essential topics. This is really very important because when you are prepared, you are knowledgeable about some topics, but you are not knowledgeable about some other topics, then you won't do well in those topics that you are not knowledgeable about. So it's important you take a holistic approach. Know all the areas that you need to cover so that you won't be lacking in any of them. All right? B. A correct Jamb subject combination. To pass the Jamb exam and secure an admission into a tertiary institution of your choice, you need to get the correct subject combination of the course you intend to study at that institution. If you are, you desire to gain admission into the university, you must have made up your mind the course you want to study. Do you want to study journalism? Do you want to study medicine? Do you want to study law? Do you want to study mass communication? Do you want to study linguistics? You must have made up your mind, and it is this particular course that you have chosen that will determine the subject combination. To make it easy for candidates, Jamb usually publishes the correct subject combination for all courses in Nigerian academic institutions. So all you need to do is to make sure you pick the correct subject combination as the starting point for your preparation. Because this is how it works. When you already know the subject combination, then you will then look for the topics in each subject in the syllabus, So, and the syllabus will then give you the topics, and we shall also be looking at the third very powerful tool that you need to utilize effectively, and that is C, Jamb past questions. The Jamb past questions will help you to know the actual types of questions usually set in the exam. The Jamb syllabus shows you the topics from which questions are usually set, as we already saw. However, the past questions will show you the actual questions set in previous exams, thereby giving you insight into likely questions in the upcoming exam. So you can see so far the Jamb syllabus and the Jamb past questions are two powerful tools you need. The Jamb syllabus gives you the topics in each subject, and then the past questions in that subject will show you the actual exam questions that Jamb set in previous years, and it will give you a clear insight into likely questions in the upcoming exam. Now, past exam questions are a very powerful tool for your preparation. Why? They offer you the opportunity to practice answering exam questions. Practice, they say, makes perfect, right? So you can understand quite clearly how these tools will help you to prepare adequately for this exam. Then this brings us to the third very key thing you need to know that will get you adequately prepared for the exam, and in fact this is the most important immediate step you need to take in preparing for the exam, and that is studying for the exam. There's no replacement for this. In studying for the exam, you need to focus on the topics where questions will be set. So when we talked about the Jamb syllabus as a tool, we are saying that this will help you this will simplify your studying, because the importance of using a good tool is that a tool helps you to simplify a task. Think of trying to maybe losing a knot in an engine with bare hands. That would be extremely difficult. It might take you a lifetime and you won't be able to loose the knot. But when you pick the right spanner, it becomes very easy, very easy. You can loosen it, you can tighten it in a twinkling of an eye. That is how tools work. So the focusing on those relevant topics will help you to avoid wasting time on irrelevancies. That is how helpful the syllabus will be. So the syllabus and past questions are the tools you need, two powerful tools. Now this is how it works. The Jamb syllabus shows you the topics from which questions are usually set. That's the function of the syllabus, to show you the topics. Then the past questions will show you the actual questions set in previous exams, thereby giving you insight into likely questions in the upcoming exam. Now you can see the functions of these two powerful tools of preparation. There are two preparatory tools you need to facilitate your preparation for the Jamb exam. Now let's look at the fourth thing we need to know. That is, here we are going into an overview of the Jamb 2021 English language syllabus. Of course, at the beginning of this video, we actually emphasize that the spotlight will be on the 2021 Jamb English syllabus, and that's what we intend to do. We intend to look at it, examine it critically, so that you will have an overview of the areas you ought to cover in your Jamb English exam. Now, the syllabus consists of two sections. Section A, comprehension/summary. Section B, lexic structure and oral forms. Now, at this point, let's go into the details of the syllabus. Here you can see, use of English, general objectives. The aim of the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME syllabus in use of English is to prepare the candidates for the board's examination. Now take note of the word prepare. You can see why we place emphasis on preparation, and we did say that preparation equals getting ready. The Jamb syllabus itself has a specific objective, a definite objective, and the objective is to prepare the candidates for the board's examination. And that is why we told you that the Jamb syllabus is a powerful tool you need for your preparation, because even Jamb itself says so. It is designed to test their achievement of the course objectives, which are to 1. Communicate effectively in both written and spoken English. 2. Have a sound linguistic basis for learning at the tertiary level. Of course, your aim of sitting the Jamb exam is to qualify to gain an admission into a university or any other tertiary institution. So the objective of the Jamb exam is to test how sound linguistic basis, how sound your linguistic basis can be for learning at the tertiary level, and how far you can communicate effectively in both written and spoken English. Now, the syllabus consists of two sections, as we earlier hinted in the previous section. Section A, it consists of comprehension/summary. Section B, lexic structure and oral forms. All right. Now, let's look at just gain insight into the details. Here we have topics, contents, and notes, and here we have objectives. Number one, we have comprehension / summary, and then under this we have description, narration, exposition, argumentation / persuasion. All right. Then we have here that each of the 4 passages to be set, one will be a closed text, should reflect various disciplines, and be about 400 words long. All right. So that is what the comprehension will look like. There will be 4 passages, and then you will be required to answer questions on each. I have already I've uploaded a video on how to answer comprehension questions in the Jamb English exam. So try and look for that video on my channel, because it will give you details of all you need to know about answering comprehension and summary questions in this exam. Now let's look at the objectives of this particular section of the exam. Candidates should be able to identify main points in the passage. All right, you should be able to know the facts, because what we call direct questions or factual questions, a type of comprehension question, will test your knowledge of the main points or the facts stated in the passage. Determine implied meaning. Now, this brings us to the second type of comprehension question, which we call inferential question or interpretative question. To infer means to figure out, things that are implied, that are not explicitly stated in the passage, but the facts there give you a clue as to what actually it means. So you should be able to infer or figure out certain things from things that are already in the passage. Identify the grammatical functions of words, phrases, and clauses, and figurative / idiomatic expression. All right, that brings us to the third type of comprehension question. You have grammatical question. Then, of course, you also have questions that are known as periphrastic. They are indirect questions, but they are based on certain linguistic knowledge that you are expected to have. All right. So then the IV is deduce or infer the writer's opinion, mood, attitude, or attitude to the subject matter, etc. This type of question is called the authorial question, the authorial type of question. It is based on the writer's opinion, So if you look for the video I have uploaded on how to answer comprehension questions in the Jamb English exam, you will discover these types of questions. You will also discover the keys discussed in that particular video, keys for unlocking a Jamb comprehension passage. You will discover the various linguistic or literary devices that will help you to unlock the passage, decode the meaning, the hidden meanings in a passage, and be able to answer the questions correctly. All right, so let's quickly go into having, of course, you are given various books. Jamb always comes with a set of books that you need to read, and then you will answer questions on them. Or, of course, they differ from year to year. Now, let's look at the lexic, structural, and oral forms. Lexic and structure will provide questions on synonyms, antonyms, homonyms, clause and sentence patterns, word clauses, word classes rather, and their functions, mood, tense, aspect, number, agreement/concord, degree, positive, comparative, and superlative, and then question tags. I have uploaded videos on various aspects of Jamb English exam questions, how to answer them, questions on lexis and structure, questions on interpretation of idioms and idiomatic expressions. Look for these videos on my channel if you are preparing for your Jamb English exam. Of course, when you lay your hands on these videos, they will give you very clear insight, very detailed and clear explanation of these various topics, and show you graphically, step by step, how to answer the questions in the exam. Whether there are questions on punctuations and spelling, ordinary usage, words in their denotative or dictionary meaning, figurative usage, expressions used in ways other than literal, and idiomatic usage, expressions whose meanings cannot be determined through a mere combination of individual words. All these are areas you will be tested on, and fortunately, for you, if you are preparing for the Jamb exam, I have covered all these various areas in various video lectures. All you need to do is to look for them. I will insert the links at the description section. You will find the various links, so you can watch these videos and help yourself to prepare adequately for this exam. Now let's look at the structure of the exam, and then we will wrap up. Now, the structure of the examination. Section A, comprehension/summary. A, you discover that 3 comprehension passages, 15 questions in all, 3 marks each, will give you 45 marks. Then B, 1 closed passage, 10 questions in all, 2 marks each, will give you 20 marks. All right. Then you go to section B, lexis, structure, and oral forms. A, you will have sentence interpretation, 10 questions in all, 2 marks each, will give you 20 marks. If you watch my recent video on sentence interpretation, directly on sentence interpretation, how to interpret sentences in English exams, whether it is Jamb or WAEC or NECO, SSE or NABTEB, whichever English exam that you are preparing for. Of course, sentence interpretation questions are usually set, and that video will show you how to answer, how to interpret sentences and answer questions correctly in your English exam. Then B, you have antonyms, opposite in meaning, 15 questions in all, 1 mark each, will give you 15 marks. Of course, I have uploaded videos on lexis and structure. Antonyms are aspects of lexis and structure. Then synonyms, also aspect of lexis and structure. Words same in meaning, 15 questions in all, 1 mark each, will give you 15 marks. D, sentence completion, filling in the gaps, 20 questions in all, 1 mark each, will give you 20 marks. Then we come to the oral forms. You have 15 questions in all, 1 mark each, will give you 15 marks. Then you have a total of 100 questions, and this will give you 150 marks. Now, if you actually follow the techniques, the procedures that we have discussed in this video and others that you will watch on this channel, I am sure you will make nothing less than 130, if not 140 marks. There are chances that if you understand the principles well enough, you could even score a maximum of 150 marks. All right. So that is how it has been in today's video. We have looked at, uh, this particular very important topic on how to prepare, how to score high in your Jamb use of English. Our spotlight has been on 2021 Jamb English syllabus, but we have looked at, the keys, the tools that you require that will enable you to get adequately prepared. We looked at preparation, as the major thing that will give you the success you desire, you are dreaming of in this upcoming Jamb exam. If you are adequately prepared, then you will score high. And that is the definite objective of this video, to get you adequately prepared for the exam so that you don't have to repeat the exam. You just go for this exam, and English language has been a stepping stone. I want to tell you of some students that I have personally tutored, and I have helped, get prepared for the Jamb exam. And I have always gotten a similar feedback from them. They always tell me that their highest score came from English, and that actually gave them a boost. It improved their overall score in the Jamb exam. If you can score 150 in English, of course, you just need, and you have 4 subjects, then if you just score like 40 each from the other one, that will give you 120. If you add it to 150, then you already have 270. Then what will happen if you score a little bit high also in other subjects? Of course, you will find yourself in the very classic class of those who are scoring above 300. It's possible to score above 350 in the Jamb exam if you adequately prepare for it. So here we are saying that preparation equals getting ready. All right, getting ready. There are no two ways to this. The only way to get ready is to take preparation very, very seriously. So to prepare is to get ready. All right, that's exactly what we have seen here. So rather than type it, let me show you. Preparation equals getting ready. Of course, we've discussed this, so we won't get back to it. But in the highlights, I am emphasizing preparation. All right, preparation, very critical. Everything we are talking about in this video is about preparation, getting yourself prepared. Because when you are adequately prepared, then you score high. If you are not prepared, of course, you fail. All right, you score very low, and you may not be able to reach the cutoff mark that will enable you to gain admission into your desired university. So you need to be adequately prepared. Number 2, we looked at these 3 essential tools for getting prepared, and we looked at them. The first one is a Jamb 2021 syllabus. The second one is a correct Jamb subject combination, and the third one is Jamb past questions, where we discussed how these 3 work together. Their individual functions and how they work together to help you prepare adequately for this exam. And we did say that the Jamb syllabus and the Jamb questions are 2 very powerful tools. Now, the first thing is the Jamb subject combination, because at the point that you are registering for Jamb, you ought to know the course you want to pursue or study at the university. If you are going to study law, for example, then you have a subject combination for studying law or mass communication or journalism or linguistics or any of the arts inclined course. All right. So now, once you have known your subject combination, you get yourself registered for the Jamb based on this subject combination. You already know the subjects you are going to answer questions on in the Jamb exam, and this will give you the big picture of how you are going to prepare for the Jamb exam. Now, the syllabus will give you the topics, show you the topics for each subject. Take English, use of English for example, because that is exactly what we are specifically discussing in this video. You will see the various topics, the areas that the sections of the exam. We saw section A, comprehension / summary, section B, lexis, structure, and oral forms. Then you know the areas, the specific areas, and the topics you have to prepare for the exam. That's what the syllabus will show you. And then the Jamb past questions will show you the actual exam questions that Jamb has set in the previous years, and this will give you the opportunity to practice answering these actual Jamb exam questions. And practice, they say, makes perfect. Now, as you also go through the past questions, you gain insight into likely exam questions, the kind of questions to expect in the upcoming Jamb exam. This will help you adequately prepared, physically, mentally, academically, psychologically. You will be adequately prepared, because when you are really fully prepared for something, then you have the level of self-esteem and self-confidence that will prepare you even psychologically for the exam hall. You don't get into the exam hall and begin to fidget and begin to shiver and get scared over everything you see, because you already know what you are to expect, and you won't see any strange thing there, because you have so familiarized yourself with the various aspects of the exam that there is really nothing that is going to be strange to you in that exam. And this is what is going to give you your excellent performance. Then we looked at number 3, studying for the exam. And we said that all these that we have all talked about, are to facilitate your actual studying for the exam, and we have also looked at how you ought to go about studying for the exam. Finally, we had an overview of the Jamb 2021 English language syllabus, and I believe that this has actually given you adequate information about the exam and shown you the keys that you need for preparing adequately for the exam. So this is how it has been, and this is where we draw the curtain in today's video. Thank you for being part of today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel by clicking on the bell icon below. You will find a red button tagged subscribe. Just click on that button, and that is all that is required. If you click on the bell icon as well, then you will be entitled to notifications whenever new videos are uploaded, and you will have free access to all the videos we upload on this channel. As I said earlier, you will find links in the description section to the various videos that will help you to prepare adequately for your Jamb English exam. Don't forget to leave your comments if you have gained from this particular video. If you have enjoyed the video, why not like the video and share the video with your friends and relations? That would be a very good thing to do. That will be very good of you, very kind of you to do. And if you have any suggestions as to how I can improve the quality of my lectures, please do not hesitate to leave such suggestions as well. If you have any topic in mind which you couldn't find on the channel, and this topic is very important to you, you want us to discuss the topic on this channel, do not hesitate to leave the suggestion. Well, I can assure you that if you suggest any topic, I am going to discuss it, and I'm going to do my best to ensure that I make it very clear, very accessible to you, so that you will be adequately helped.